Imagine this, a crown that defines not just fame, but culture, pride, and the voice of millions worldwide. And only one girls' love couple can wear it. Will it be EngLot, the unshakable queens who turned elegance into power, or LingOrm, the blazing new wave, rewriting every rule? This is more than a rivalry, it's a clash of generations. Stay tuned and tell me in the comments, who owns your heart, EngLot or LingOrm? Under the bright stage lights, the cheers of millions of people resounded like thunder, shaking the space. The atmosphere was vibrant, enthusiastic, and filled with passion. Because in the love universe of Thai girls, there is only one crown, one title, one name respected by fans all over the world. Girls love Global Queen. But the burning question on everyone's mind is, who truly deserves the crown? Is it the EngLot, the veteran queens whose names are already etched in history? Or is it the LingOrm, the passionate newcomers, full of unstoppable energy, who dare to challenge the throne? This is more than just fan talk, more than chemistry or screen presence. This is a culture clash, a meeting of the ages, where the icons who built empires clash with the rising stars who dare to reshape them. Enter the spotlight. Are EngLot, Engfawaraha, and Charlotte Austin. Their story began not with a TV drama script, but with the crown, the spotlight, and the flame of beauty pageants. From Miss Grand Thailand to Miss Grand International, they entered the already vibrant Miss Grand universe, and together, they became unstoppable. Their concerts were packed, their fan meetings were bursting with raw emotion, and with just one appearance on stage, they could make fans cry, laugh, and cheer, shaking the entire auditorium. On the other side were LingOrm, Lingling Siriluk, and Orm Cornafat. They didn't wear a crown, but they carried something else, a fresh, wild energy fueled by the power of Channel 3. Their TV series, The Secret of Us, emerged like a glimmer of light in the darkness, modern, tender, and heartbreakingly honest, telling the story of Falada, a young doctor, and Ern, an ex-lover who returns after years apart. Within weeks, TikTok was flooded with edits, Twitter was awash with fan art, and their chemistry had attracted a whole new generation hungry for representation. And just like that, the balance began to shift. Suddenly, EngLot's reign was no longer secure. Let me ask you this, if the crown were to be handed over right now, who would it go to? EngLot, the reigning queens no one can deny, or LingOrm, the passionate challengers ready to rewrite the story? Leave your answer in the comments, and while you're at it, let me know where you're watching from. Manila, Bangkok, Los Angeles, London, São Paulo. Because this isn't just a Thai story anymore, it's a global one. And you, wherever you are part of it. But before you crown anyone, ask yourself what it really means. The title of Global Queen of Love is about more than trending hashtags or soaring YouTube views. It's not about who has the best poster or the biggest stage. It's about being an icon, a source of strength, an inspiring voice. It's about standing in solidarity. It's about carrying the hope of countless people who have yearned to see their stories on screen. It's about showing the world that love between women is real, meaningful, and worthy of recognition. It's more than a title, it's a cultural crown, a responsibility, and only one couple can hold it. So who embodies that role better? EngLot, with its undeniable intimacy, its ability to blur the lines between film and real life, the grace of queens who have risen from glamour to cultural icon. Or LingOrm, the new wave, the vibrant Gen Z who is rewriting what it means to tell a girls' love story in today's digital world. Fame fades, trends rise and fall, but real influence endures. It's the stories that are told, the memories that live on 10 years from now, long after the lights have gone out. When you imagine that throne in the middle of that vast arena, whose presence do you see, not just today, but a decade from now? And let's talk about feelings. Because beyond the numbers, beyond the fan wars, What really matters is the emotions they bring. When you watch EngLot, you probably feel warm, proud, even healed. Seeing Eungfa and Charlotte holding hands, smiling at each other, it feels like a love story that transcends the screen, like proof that authenticity can thrive under pressure. When you watch LingOrm, you probably feel the thrill of first love captured perfectly on screen. Their eyes, their laughter, their togetherness. It feels young, pure, and unstoppable. How do you feel? Do you shed tears at EngLot concerts? Do you giggle at LingOrm's schoolyard jokes? Do you feel represented, seen, acknowledged? Share it, because your story matters just as much as theirs. Tell me, was EngLot your first window into the world of girls' love? Or was it LingOrm that captured your heart from the very beginning? Do you believe that the crown belongs to experience or fresh energy? And above all, how does this competition stir your heart? Does it make you nervous, conflicted, proud, curious? Share your truth in the comments. And while you're at it, tell me, who captured your heart? Don't hesitate. I promise, whatever your answer, you won't be alone. This is just the beginning. The throne has yet to be decided. First, we enter the world of EngLot, their rise, their struggles, their triumphs, and why so many believe their reign is untouchable. And just when you think the story is over, LingOrm appears. With their arrival, the ground begins to shake. Stay tuned. The battle for the global girls' love crown has only just begun. When we talk about EngLot, we are not just talking about another girls' love couple from Thailand. We are talking about a phenomenon, a force of nature, a presence so majestic that every step they take seems to be choreographed for history. Eungfa Waraha and Charlotte Austin do not simply walk into a room, they reshape the atmosphere. The air changes, cameras shift, crowds lean in their direction. They possess what the West calls queen energy. A rare aura where elegance meets authority, where grace meets strength. EngLot embodies the image of women who are not only admired, but also revered. But what makes EngLot more than just stars? Why do fans all over the world see them not just as entertainers, but as icons? Stop right there, my friends, and I want you, wherever you're watching, to think about this. Do you see them as just actresses in a love story? Or do you see them as two women brave enough to stand in the light, embodying something bigger than themselves? EngLot has become what many fans call a safe haven. In a world that often questions love between women, they embody trust, warmth, and acceptance. For the LGBTQ+ community, they're more than just idols, they're a refuge. Looking at them feels like being wrapped in a gentle embrace that whispers, "You belong here. You're worthy. Your love is real." And that's powerful. Representation isn't just about being seen, it's about being seen with respect. And EngLot delivers that in abundance. Now think, what happens when a couple carries not only their own careers, but also the hopes of an entire community on their shoulders? The burden is enormous, but EngLot wears it like a crown. Every look, every smile, every shared moment on stage becomes a message to the world. It whispers, this love is real. This love deserves to shine, and it shines. If Freenbecky opened the door to girls' love to a mass audience, EngLot has kept that light shining, carried it further, brighter and higher than before. Where are you watching this video? Are you sitting in a quiet room in Manila, or perhaps late at night in New York? How does it feel to see two Thai women become icons across oceans, across cultures, across languages? Isn't it amazing how love, when true, can overcome all barriers? EngLot's influence can't be measured in numbers alone. Their fan meetings sell out, their hashtags trend globally, their concerts break records, but their true power goes far beyond that. They've become cultural pillars, proving that love knows no gender, and that beauty lies not just in youth and passion, but in grace, strength, and resilience. Eungfa and Charlotte embody the calm of queens who have faced storms and learned to overcome them. Their journeys inspire fans not only to celebrate, but also to reflect. What does being true to myself mean to me? When you see EngLot, do you feel inspired to assert yourself, to assert your own story, your own love, without apologizing? If so, write it in the comments. Share your truth, because that's what stories like this are for, to ignite a fire of confidence in each of us. Because it's true, folks. EngLot's story isn't just theirs, it's ours. When they step onto the stage, they carry the voice of every girl who's ever dreamed of holding another girl's hand in public. When they sing, laugh, or cry, they give voice to the silent wishes of countless people who felt they had to hide. That's why their power resonates beyond their fans. It resonates in the hearts of people who finally feel seen. When was the first time you saw EngLot and felt that spark? Was it a performance, a tender scene from Show Me Love, or just a genuine smile caught on camera? Those moments ripple across the world like waves crashing on a distant shore. And today, you are part of that wave. Isn't that amazing? Take a moment. Leave a comment below and tell us not only where you're watching, but how EngLot has touched your journey. Did they make you braver? Did they give you hope? Did they remind you that your love is worth cherishing? Your story matters here. This is why EngLot has always been a beacon. Not because they are perfect, but because their light shines through their imperfections. They endure criticism, but still rise with unwavering strength. And each time they return, they remind us to always be confident. That is what sets them apart from ordinary celebrities. That is what makes them true leaders of the heart. Don't forget, EngLot are not just actors, not just beauty queens, not just stars. They are cultural pioneers, proving that openness is not a weakness but a strength, expressing authenticity that is both inspiring and healing. As we close this chapter, let's celebrate what they have brought us. A vision of love for girls that is radiant, strong, and resilient. But the story continues. Because if EngLot is a symbol, what happens when the new wave rises? When the flame of youth meets the beauty of time. Follow me. We enter LingOrm's world, the brewing storm, the challenges that could reshape the future of love. When the world thinks of global girls' love icons, EngLot is usually the first name that comes to mind. The established queens, the veterans whose names have become legends. But the spotlight shifts, because while the legends build the foundations, something new is rising on the horizon. A storm that doesn't need permission. A storm of color, energy, and youth. It has a name, LingOrm. Now imagine this. Ling and Orm entered the girls' love world not as unknown idols, but as flashes of Gen Z energy. Bright, genuine, impossible to ignore. They appeared like lightning, with striking looks, natural chemistry, and a presence that filled every feed. On TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you saw them everywhere. A look, a smile, a reaching hand. Moments that were replayed over and over again, turned into millions of views overnight. Have you felt it yet? The pull of a couple whose energy doesn't just linger on the screen, but radiates straight into your heart. If you're watching from the US, Brazil, or anywhere in the world, let me know in the comments. Where are you watching from? And what was the first moment of LingOrm that made you stop, rewind, and be captivated by them? Because the truth is, LingOrm is more than just acting. Yes, they deliver performances on screen that make you feel your heart flutter. But what fans can't stop talking about is how they radiate something beyond the script. That elusive, authentic couple vibe. That spark that makes queer audiences, especially Gen Z, lean forward and say to themselves, "This feels real. This feels like me." Think about that for a moment. Representation used to mean there was only one girls' love couple on screen, hidden away in a side plot, rarely getting the spotlight. But LingOrm flipped that on its head. They weren't hidden gems. They were the center of attention. They were sparks, and that's what fans called them, sparks. And you know what sparks do? they spread. Suddenly, a new wave of queer youth, from Asia to Europe to North America, heard their own voices in LingOrm. They thought, this is our spirit, our voice, our future. And when Generation Z heard that voice, they didn't stay silent. They amplified it. They turned it into a megaphone that went out to the world. What happens when representation is not just welcomed, but embraced, celebrated, and promoted by the largest and most engaged generation in history? What happens when LingOrm, two young actresses from Thailand, emerge as the digital heartbeat of a new cultural wave? This is no longer just a fan thing. It's the beginning of a movement. And you've probably noticed it already. The hashtags, the edits, the fan art. Have you created anything inspired by it? Drop emoji into the chat box if you've ever shared a LingOrm clip with a friend, or even argued with another fan about which moment felt the most real. After all, LingOrm don't exist in isolation. They're part of a much larger story. A story where girls' love is no longer a subgenre or a passing fad. LingOrm are living proof that girls' love is evolving into a sustainable cultural movement. They carry the banner of legacy, serving as a bridge connecting the legends of the past to the generations to come. When we look back in 10 years, will LingOrm be remembered as the spark that ignited a wave of change? Or will they be celebrated as the torchbearers who led girls' love into a new golden age? How does it feel to know that in your lifetime, queer stories have not only been hidden in the shadows, but also celebrated in the spotlight? Does that make you want to hold on to this moment, to cherish it, to amplify it, to make sure no one else dares to push it back to where it came from? Because LingOrm isn't just Ling and Orm. They're the embodiment of every queer kid who ever wondered, will I ever see someone like me in the stories the world is watching? Today, the answer is unmistakably, resoundingly, and profoundly yes. So the next time LingOrm takes over TikTok or heats up conversations on Twitter, remember, this isn't a coincidence. This is a cultural shift happening, and we're all part of it. Whose journey excites you more, the steady strength of EngLot or the fiery fire of LingOrm? Share your thoughts, because your voice is shaping this global conversation. LingOrm may be the spark of a new era, but the burning question remains: who truly deserves the crown of global girls' love queen, EngLot or LingOrm? Stay tuned for the next. Who knows, you might change your mind about both. Imagine a grand stage, the lights shining brightly on a sea of enthusiastic fans. On one side is EngLot, the queen of timeless beauty and authoritative power. On the other is LingOrm, a storm of energy, passion, and youth. This is not just a comparison. This is a clash of the ages, a true battle of the generations. EngLot are no strangers to the crown. They wear it with elegance, poise, and the weight of life experience. Their love story is steeped in symbolism. A beauty queen and a radiant heiress who rose to become a cultural icon. Each appearance exudes dignity, as if to declare, we are not here to entertain, we are here to inspire. Now compare that to LingOrm. They do not enter the room with a crown or a heavy title. They charge in with the raw, powerful aura of youth. They carry the language of memes, the rhythm of TikTok edits, the pulse of Gen Z fandom. They are not a monument. They are a blazing fire, smart, agile, unstoppable. Their power lies not in tradition, but in diffusion. What happens when timelessness meets trend? EngLot's presence is like a mighty empire, vast, majestic, impregnable. Their fandom spans countries, bound together not only by admiration for their beauty, but also by the stories and ideals they embody. Engfa, who was crowned Miss Grand Thailand, carries the ethereal beauty of someone who has shone brightest and still smiles when she appears. Beside her, Charlotte provides balance. Her gentleness and sincerity soften the edges, turning their relationship into something both powerful and deeply human. Together, They represent a force of steadfastness, maturity, and influence, redefining the narrative of women in entertainment. They are queens not because they speak, but because the world celebrates them every time the spotlight shines on them. Do you like icons who exude timeless grace, who occupy space without saying a word? If so, you're probably Team EngLot. But don't underestimate LingOrm. Their journey may be shorter, but it's fueled by the very platforms that define our time. Instagram Reels, TikTok clips, global fan edits, LingOrm thrive where attention lasts seconds, but impressions last forever. They possess what marketers call the viral factor. They stop you from scrolling. They make you smile unexpectedly. They make you feel young again, even if you're not. Their power doesn't come from crowns or titles. It comes from momentum, which can turn things around in weeks, not years. Are you someone who believes the future belongs to the younger generation, those who ride the wave of change faster than anyone else? If so, LingOrm may be the winner. And that's the crux of the confrontation. EngLot's presence is like a mighty empire, vast, majestic, impregnable. Their fandoms span countries, bound together not only by admiration for their beauty, but also by the stories and ideals they embody. Fans around the world have begun to choose sides. From Manila to Mexico City to Los Angeles, voices are rising. Some say, EngLot is irreplaceable. They have built an empire that will last. Others reply, LingOrm is the future. Their fire cannot be extinguished. And perhaps the most interesting thing is not the answer, but the fact that the question exists. Because when fans are passionately debating who is truly the global queen, it means that both sides are important, both sides are inspiring, both sides are shaping the culture we live in. Where are you watching from? Leave your country down here. I'm curious, are you part of the EngLot empire or the LingOrm movement? EngLot stands as a symbol of grace and enduring. LingOrm bursts forth with the fire of youth, the pulse of enthusiasm, and the awe of Generation Z. So who truly holds the crown of global girls' love? The timeless queens who embody elegance, or the fearless disruptors rewriting the rules? This is not just a question of who shines brighter. It is about how we define greatness, whether by honoring tradition or by embracing change. And perhaps, in truth, greatness lives in the balance of both. Now, let us turn the page and step into the future of girls' love couples on the world stage. When we put EngLot and LingOrm side by side, we're not just comparing two couples from Thailand. We're exploring two distinct sensations that extend far beyond their borders. Their presence has reached fans in Asia, Europe, Latin America, and the United States. And what's interesting is how these two couples impact the global LGBT community in ways that are both unique and complementary. So let's slow down, take a closer look, and ask ourselves, what does their impact really mean to you, to me, to all of us watching from around the world? Engfa Waraha and Charlotte Austin, also known as EngLot, are more than just a couple. They're an icon. Engfa, who was crowned Miss Grand Thailand, represents discipline, grace, and national pride. Charlotte, her dance partner, is not just a supporting character but an equal presence, creating a charisma that exudes maturity and confidence. For LGBT audiences, especially those in countries where same-sex love remains hidden in the shadows, EngLot feels like a safe haven. They represent reliability, an emotional foundation that says, you are seen, you are valuable, you deserve to shine too. It is EngLot's stability that inspires fans to imagine a future where same-sex couples not only exist but thrive openly, with dignity and acceptance. Their fan meetings, their public appearances, their calm yet confident pairing, all of it reinforces one message: love between women is as precious as any other kind of love. Now, let's move on to LingOrm. Lingling Siriluk and Orm Cornafat. They're youthful, playful, and embody the unstoppable power of young love. If EngLot brings stability, LingOrm brings fire. Their chemistry was instant, explosive, and infectious. When fans watched them, it wasn't about dignity or validation. It was about the rush of emotion that comes when you first fall in love. Your first love, the overwhelming excitement that makes you believe anything is possible. For LGBT youth in particular, LingOrm is a beacon showing them that they are seen, valued, and not alone. They said without words, "Your love is normal, your feelings are valid, you don't have to apologize for who you are." That was incredibly powerful for a small-town teenager or a young adult from a strict family who might feel isolated or unseen. Their influence was hopeful, energetic, and unapologetic about having fun. Watching them, you were invited to enjoy love together, no matter how new, messy, or imperfect it was. When you see LingOrm together, do they remind you of your first love? Do they make you feel moved? The special thing here is not that EngLot and LingOrm are different, but that their differences form two halves of a larger whole. EngLot, stability, pride, recognition. LingOrm, hope, empathy, youthful passion. One makes you feel safe, the other makes you feel alive, and both are necessary. Together, they reveal many aspects of LGBT love. Love that is strong and resilient. Love that is playful and bold. Love that can stand proudly in the spotlight. And love that can laugh in the middle of the night. This contrast is what makes Thai Girls' Love a global phenomenon. It doesn't just portray one kind of love, it portrays many different kinds of love. And in doing so, it speaks to audiences across cultures, generations, and languages. What happens when EngLot and LingOrm step onto the global stage? For EngLot, their refined image and strong presence have touched the hearts of communities hungry for recognition. In conservative countries, fans look at them and think, if they can be confident, maybe one day I can be too. Their resilience becomes a source of courage for those who have long been unheard. For LingOrm, their energy resonates with young people all over the world. Fans in Mexico, Brazil, South Korea, and elsewhere celebrate them not as distant stars, but as familiar figures. Their joy translates into hope, a promise that young love, no matter who it is worth celebrating. If you had to choose, which impact do you feel more strongly? The safety of recognition or the fire of passion? What makes their impact profound is not just the airtime, but what happens after the show ends. A fan in Brazil realizes their love has nothing to hide. A fan in the US discovers a connection in a community they never had before. This is bigger than television. It's a cultural shift, one heart at a time. So, who is the real global queen, EngLot or LingOrm? The answer is both, in their own way. EngLot brings safety, recognition, pride. LingOrm brings spark, empathy, and undying love. Together, they are shaping a global movement where LGBT stories are not only accepted, but celebrated. But the story doesn't end here. The real challenge lies ahead. Who is building the stronger empire, EngLot or LingOrm? As the curtain begins to fall on the global stage of girls' love icons, one final question remains. Who truly owns the crown? Who deserves the title of the ultimate girls' love queen worldwide? We have been through their journey together, relived their peak moments, and felt the passion of their fans. Now it's time to face the question that every audience, every fan club, every corner of the fandom is whispering. EngLot, the veteran force, or LingOrm, the shining of the new generation? EngLot stands tall like a monument. Their story began in the spotlight of beauty pageants, then spread to the world of television, music, and international fan meetings. Ungfa and Charlotte have become symbols of authenticity and strength, women who refuse to hide their love in the dark. They were the embodiment of resilience, a steady flame that burned through the storm. Fans around the world saw them not just as entertainers, but as trailblazers, queens who proved that love between women could proudly stand at the center of the world stage. And then, LingOrm appeared. Ling and Orm represented the vitality of a new era, one in which streaming platforms erased borders and created international sensations overnight. Their on-screen chemistry ignited a fire in the hearts of young fans, and their global influence spread at breakneck speed. They were bold, playful, unpredictable, the kind of couple who could dominate Twitter trends in a matter of hours and capture the imagination of fans in Seoul, Manila, Los Angeles, and beyond. On one side of the screen you see EngLot, graceful, regal, a smoldering flame that lights up everything around her. On the other, LingOrm, explosive, agile, a flash of lightning in the dark. Both are brilliant, unforgettable, yet so different. It's as if we're watching two queens play two different games. EngLot plays the game of longevity, of power that lasts for decades. LingOrm plays the game of momentum, of trends, of energy that sweeps you away before you even realize it. EngLot embody the intersection of tradition and progress. They come from a world that once demanded uniformity, but chose authenticity, and in doing so, they have become a bridge between generations. Older fans see a long-awaited reimagining, while younger fans see a powerful reflection. Meanwhile, LingOrm represents a limitless future. Born in a digital age where identity is fluid and reimagining is expected rather than required, they assert their position with freedom, joy, and fearlessness. Their rise is a testament to how culture has changed, from seeking approval to taking the stage completely. Where are you watching from? Asia, where their love blossomed, or Europe, America, Africa, where their stories continue to inspire across oceans? Leave your country in the comments. I want to see how far they reach. When you see the quiet strength of EngLot or the youthful fire of LingOrm, what do you feel? Hope? Representation? A sense of belonging to something bigger? This rivalry isn't just about trends or trophies. It's about the story they share. About courage, about breaking norms, about giving fans a reflection of their hearts. EngLot are the veteran queens, majestic on their thrones. LingOrm are the bold challengers, ready to light up the world. And isn't that the essence of all great rivalry? The balance between enduring power and burning fire, between the eternal flame and the spark that lights the sky. And perhaps that's true. The throne of girls' love has never belonged to just one person. It's a kingdom large enough to house different queens from different eras, each shining in their own way. EngLot's reign speaks of stability and strength, while LingOrm's rise is bursting with change and potential. Together, they remind us that representation isn't a competition. It's a choir, where every voice contributes to the song of progress. EngLot, the veteran queens, resilient and unshakable. LingOrm, the rising stars surging like a tsunami, unstoppable force. Both are unforgettable. Both are irreplaceable. But only one can claim the iconic throne of the global girls' love kingdom. Who is the real global girls' love queen? Is it EngLot, with her enduring, or LingOrm with her relentless storm? Whose story resonates more deeply with you? Whose bond lingers longer in your memory? Whose courage pushes you beyond your limits? As we close, imagine this. The screen splits in two. On one side is EngLot, regal and majestic, their elegance shining like a timeless crown. On the other is LingOrm, hot and vibrant, their laughter echoing like before a summer rain. The music swells, the rhythms accelerate, and from this intersection of grace and fire, a new chapter in the girls' love story begins. So tell me, who will shape this future? Who will hold the heart of the world? The final answer awaits. You. Thank you so much for watching today. If this story touched you, made you smile, or gave you something meaningful to think about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next inspiring stories on this channel. We really welcome your comments, your feedback. It helps us grow and create even stronger stories together. See you in the next video.